Hey, welcome back to another episode of CX Riot Radio, where we talk about customer experience and stuff still in a hyper caffeinated state. Now, I thought the mood lighting would be a lot cooler looking than this, but it is what it is. So, who am I? My name is David. I am the caffeinated CXO, Chief Experience Officer, and I talk about customer experience and employee experience and contact centers and customer service and company culture and stuff like that. Right? So I've been doing this for a few years, took a couple weeks break because honestly, like I said in my last video, which if you're not subscribed or you don't watch my YouTube channel, please do. I don't post everything as a podcast. But like I said in that, kind of ran out of things to say, right? How often can you just repeat the mantra, make things easy for your customers to do business with you, or be nice to your customers, or don't treat your employees like shit, right? How many different ways are there of saying that? Honestly, about 3 or 4 years worth, I guess. So, and I'm seeing it on LinkedIn now more than ever too. And it's become more, what's the word, hallmarky as it goes on. And if your entire thing can be boiled down to a Hallmark card, what the fuck is happening? All right? Like little cliches, like treat your employees like gold because they're going to treat your customers like gold. Bro, I was saying that back in 2020. People have been saying this as like there's been customers, right? So why is my nose so shiny in this? Oh well. So, but it is what it is, as they say. And again, that's a mantra that I wanted to stop in 2024, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the gift that keeps on giving, folks. So, I mean, what are you going to do? So, in a abrupt turnaround and a about face, we, me, us, because I'm talking to you right now, we're going to be talking about other things that deal with customer experience and all that other jazz that I put in the beginning of this, right? And we're going to do it while I sit in the dark in my garage with a lantern and a one of those disc light things that I got from Five Below. Because when I turned on the overhead lights in the garage, it was too bright, right? It was too bright. I mean, this is way too dark, but I'll get it figured out as I go. I think this was going to be my preferred place to record these episodes now. Now, as we go on and I learn more and I do it more, the audio will improve, the lighting will improve, this, that, and the other will improve. But until then, you don't have to watch the video. You can just listen to it. I mean, it is a podcast after all. And video on podcast is a fairly new phenomenon. So, well, like maybe a year and a half, 2 years old on Spotify. But it is what it is, you know? Or if you're watching on YouTube, hi, sorry. How you doing? Love you. Look at that. Look at the way that light reflects in my glasses. That's crazy. You listening to the pod are going to see that bright glare. So, like, I had a fifth grade teacher, right? He wasn't my teacher, but he was a fifth grade teacher. While I was in fifth grade, he also taught a fifth grade class, and his head was like that. He also used to wear gray sweatpants. Yeah. So, I mean, whatever. You know, what are you going to do? It was kind of gross because, yeah, yeah, kind of gross. The mothers loved him, bald and all, because of those gray sweatpants. But we're going to talk about leading a team of customer service people because there is nothing more rewarding and challenging than that. All right. And I know some of you guys are on the front lines in customer support or customer service, and others are, not on the front line. And you either run a team or you run the people that are running the teams, or you run the person that's running the people that are running the teams. I think I got that right. Or you just stumbled upon this and you're watching it anyway, and that's cool too. Not everything has to be perfect. So, not everything has to make sense. But, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself probably a lot in this. Look at that shadow. That's a bad idea. Anyway, so it's one of the most rewarding and challenging things there is in existence. And that's okay. Why is it both rewarding and challenging? Because nobody wants to be frontline customer service. You don't grow up and having your childhood dreams be like, I'd really like to be in a call center when I grow up. Or, you know what I want to do? I want to do tech support for people who can barely turn on a computer for the rest of my life. I want that to be my career. So, it is what it is. So, nobody's really happy doing what they're doing because they all think they should be doing other greater, better stuff. And on the same wavelength of that is most customer service people, regardless of industry, are criminally underpaid. So, not only do you have to realize that a lot of people's dreams were dashed against the rocks, at least temporarily, but they're like poverty level almost individuals who's one paycheck away from getting their car repossessed. That's okay. We're all there. I mean, 60, 70, maybe even 80% of Americans are the same way. So it is what it is, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter what your role is. Most people are one or two paychecks away from homelessness. American dream. So, but they're also very, very, very diverse, right? And diverse in demographics and heritage and background, but also diverse in thought and diverse in actions. So, which makes it one of the most fun places to work at too, right? Because you never really meet the same person twice, right? There are people that will definitely like trigger memories of other people in these fields, but for the most part, everyone you meet, everyone you train, everyone you work with are going to be a completely distinct individual. And I know a lot of people out there are saying, isn't everybody? No. No. There are a lot of cookie cutter people out there and that just fill a certain template with some variations here and there. Like this person is just like that person, but this person has blonde hair. Stuff like that, right? So it's also one of the places where this is the rewarding part, right? Where what you teach, what you preach, and what you tolerate can change lives for the better, right? And this is from the employee. So the skills that you learn doing entry level frontline customer service work can be translated into any career, most any career there is out there, right? So dealing with people, calming people down, de-escalating irate situations, explaining a bill to someone with a third grade education and making them understand it, or walking someone who cannot read through setting up a security panel, right, for their home. Ask me how I know that one. All right. So, anyway, you're going to find that some of the skills that you teach, some of the skills that you preach, and some of the behaviors that you tolerate will go a long way into making somebody better and more better suited or better prepared for a career outside of customer service, which is fantastic. Every human, I think, should work at least 1 or 2 years as a frontline customer service person, right? Whether that be in a call center or fast food or, any of that stuff, retail, right? And I think that would be like the equivalent. And I don't mean to say this to like disparage anybody, but it would be like, those countries that make you serve in the military for 1 or 2 years, right? I think you'd come out the other side a better person or addicted to drugs. Either or, right? So, and that's up to you. So, whichever way you go, that's your choice. I don't know. But leading a team on customer service is fun if you do it right. And this can be in person, this can be remote. It doesn't fucking matter. It's the same shit. Right? Like what's the fundamental difference? Susie can't microwave her fish curry in the break room. Right? If you're all remote. But these days, Slack, Discord, I would say Microsoft Teams, but fuck Microsoft Teams, Zoom, right? All of this stuff, you can have a more cohesive, aligned, better educated staff than if you were all sitting in the same room in the same building. And it gives you the added benefit of not having to have people in your office every second of the day because you're that popular and cool, or they just have questions, or they just want to be off the phone. So I am a big, big proponent of remote work, and I don't think I've made that clear in my previous episodes. Just kidding. I think you all know what my feelings on it are. I think that you can run a team more effectively, more efficiently when people are remote. People like working remote a lot better. They're more productive, studies have shown. And when the power goes out at your corporate building and your generator fails, or the internet fiber line is cut, this, that, and the other, right? You can still have people doing your customer service for you from the comfort of their own home. Now, it's not for everybody. Not everybody can, right? Either they live in a really crappy area where the internet sucks, or they don't have a quiet place to go at their home, right? They have kids or dogs or neighbors, and the neighbors are loud as fuck, right? So you kind of want to probably have a place where people can gather, and then they can come into the office if they so choose, or if they're underperforming, back in the office, motherfucker, right? That kind of thing. But for the most part, as long as people are performing and people are doing good, right? And they're doing their job, because let's face it, and we're talking about call centers right now. Every single thing that someone does in a call center, you can see, right? And single thing that they're not doing, you can see. So there shouldn't be anything like weird about it. So yeah, fuck it. Okay. So, but anyway, and people who say they can't, that just proves that they're stupid, right? If someone says, oh, I don't know how to run a remote team, or I wouldn't know how to have everyone remote and still like keep that company culture or keep them all productive. They're just saying that they're an idiot, honestly, because it's not hard. I mean, people have been doing it for 20 years on a fucking video game, right? World of Warcraft. And I bring this up in my book, The Blue Collar Call Center, right? Where it's no different. Running a team is no different than running a guild on World of Warcraft. In fact, running a guild on World of Warcraft, at least back in the day, right? Before it became whatever the fuck it is now, was harder and more aggravating and more frustrating than running a team of remote customer service workers. It just was, right? Because, first of all, wow. See what I did there? But, second of all, people are not being paid to play World of Warcraft unless they're on Twitch or something, right? So, it is what it is. So, I need to know how to do that, man. I need to learn how to do that because I started playing World of Warcraft Classic again. Season of Discovery, though, because I like a little mixaroo, because I played all the way through like Cataclysm, right? And when I came back into Shadowlands, right, I did not like retail at all. I did not like the new WoW stuff at all. I thought it was boring. I thought it was dumb, and I didn't like how everything was dumbed down. So when Classic was released and I got the chance to play it, oh my gosh, it's better than I remember it 20 years ago. Yeah. But I also know all the quests and all the storylines and all the mechanics. So Season of Discovery lets me have a little bit of why am I talking about that? That whatever. But running a guild, a raiding guild on World of Warcraft was more difficult than running a team of people doing customer service from their house. So, and if you don't believe that, that's fine. You don't have to, but it is, especially when you have tools where it says, hey, this person missed a call. And then you get an alert saying they missed a call. You'd be like, hey, what's up? I was putting in notes. Why do you have the customer on the line while you're finishing up your notes, bro? Right? And then, that happens a few times, and you just bring that person back in the office where you can have someone supervise them, or you can supervise them. So, and then when they get better at it, and they've been coached, and they've been, they're not doing it anymore, go home, work from there. I don't want to see you anymore. And it's not like that, right? That's put in a way for a comedic effect. You know what that is? It's called a fucking joke. But it is what it is. So here's the thing. People like flexibility. People like being treated like adults. And when the CEO or the big boss can work from home or work from their hotel room when they're on a trip, why can't the person making $18 an hour do the same? Why doesn't management trust them enough to do that? I think that's the question. If you don't trust your employees to do their job, why do you have those employees? Or why have employees at all if you can't trust any of them to do their job when you're not hovering behind them? That seems crazy. But, who am I to judge? I'll tell you who, I'm David, the fucking caffeinated CXO. So, and we all know the real reason behind a lot of the return to office mandates, corporate real estate, the overpriced restaurants downtown in cities that survived off of charging office workers $17 for a fucking salad, plus $5 if you wanted chicken on it. Right? So it's the same reason all those tech companies had or have like beer on tap or free lunches, things like that. They had those conveniences not for the employee, but so the employee wouldn't leave the office on their lunch or immediately after their shift ended. Same thing with company happy hour and shit like that. Now, I do agree that there are times when coworkers should get together and actually be in the same location as each other. And that is for like company outings. That is for company team building activities, but not any cringe ones, right? Not that fucking thing where everybody grabs like that parachute thing and like lifts it up and someone goes in the middle, stuff like that. No. But like out to a nice restaurant, not to talk business, but to talk amongst themselves, or a company party, right? And a real one, like at a venue, or company picnic, where people celebrate milestones within their company, like they met or beat a certain revenue target or an EBITDA target, anything like that. Everybody gathers with their families at a park as a barbecue or something. I think that's cool. Hard to do if you're not all local, but still, if you are all local and you all live within a certain radius and you still allow people to work from home, which is awesome of you, because let's take Los Angeles for an example, right? And fires aside and all that jazz. What is normally a 20-minute drive could balloon up to an hour and a half, depending on traffic, right? It's like Parkinson's law for bullshit. So it is what it is. But like, that's an hour out of someone's day, right? That they're not getting paid for. In fact, it's costing them money. And yeah. So the cool thing is, there's really no excuse for people to be tardy when they're remote. What was there traffic in the kitchen? So I don't know. This episode's turned into a rambling mess. I apologize for that. But the thing is, treat your employees like adults. Because unless you're running a child sweatshop, they are adults. Trust, but verify. If you think someone's not up to snuff, don't let them work remote. If you think someone's not going to be productive, don't let them work remote. But for the people who have proven themselves, for the people who have been at your company for a long time, nailed every KPI, set the standards for the people around them, who gives a shit? You shouldn't. If someone's more productive, if someone's happier, if someone's better working, not at the office, and they're still working, who cares? And here's another thing, right? 1% drop in revenue. Oh, customer service now done overseas. All right. And I know not all, but enough. Okay. And sometimes people will call me out for saying outsourcing is bad. Like, not all outsourcing is bad. And I know it's fucking not. Okay. And I have no problem with onshore or nearshore or even, for the most part, offshore outsourcing. I do, but for the sake of this argument, I don't. Okay. Um, I have no problem with onshore outsourcing. Okay. Near shore, depending on how you want to, whatever you want to define that as, is sometimes a necessary evil. But when I am pretty agnostic when it comes to national pride or nationalism, right? Except when it comes to America's working class. And that's when my red, white, and blue America first nationalism comes out. I think that American companies should employ American workers. Period. I think, well, that's what I think. And I think that any company that outsources their workforce to offshore, to overseas, should be penalized with taxes and ridiculed in the public space. That's me. And if you've made it 26 minutes into this thing, which I doubt you have, or the people that actually own offshoring actually have, I think, well, I get it. Okay. I get where you're coming from. You're saving companies a lot of money. I don't think it's good for the nation. I don't think it's good for our workforce. And I don't think it's good for the companies themselves. Yeah, they save a few dollars. I don't think they should, but it is what it is. So, and yeah, most of the stuff I own was probably built by children in third world countries. But what am I going to do about that, right? I didn't set up the system. I just live in it. And to be honest, I can't afford most American products. But imagine, and since we're like almost a half hour in, I know most people aren't listening to this anymore. I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here, okay? So, if Trump eliminates income tax, I think a lot of people are going to be a lot better off. So, because right now, on average, how much are you spending on federal income taxes? 30%, 33%, 40%? What would you be able to do in your life, granted everything else stays the same, with 35, let's meet in the middle, with 35% more in your pocket? For a lot of people, well, they're going to be able to afford more, right? They're going to be able to buy more. They're going to be able to provide more for their families and for their community. Because I am a big fan of Adam Smith. And if you don't know who Adam Smith is, I have one of his audiobooks actually on this channel or on my YouTube channel, CX Riot Radio. The Wealth of Nations. I think it's only part one that I have up, but it's a great book on economic theory, right? So, and I think we shouldn't stop trade with other countries, right? Just maybe not trade workforces. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just mad because when I tried to call my bank earlier, I couldn't understand anything they were saying. And I pride myself on being able to understand accents, right? I pride myself on that. I've been in the call center game since I was 17 years old. There's only a couple of accents I don't understand, right? And that I could never begin to understand. And most of those are from the deep south of the U.S. I just can't understand what they're saying. Everything either runs together or it's, I don't even know, bro. Or they use weird words for things like they call magazines books and things like that. Which, funny story, I was doing retention for a magazine company. And this person calls in and we're like, hey, I need to cancel the subscription for these books. I'm like, oh, Oh no, you must have the wrong number. We don't sell books. Okay, bye. They hung up. I was young. I was young. It was funny though. That was the same call center where I took Paxil, I don't know what it was. All I know is that it made me sleep my entire shift at the call center. But they were nice enough to put me on a queue that only got like a call an hour. And every time the thing would beep, I'd wake up, take the call, pass back out. Don't take Paxil if it's not prescribed to you. That was the same call center where, after I left there, my supervisor killed himself in an Occupy Wall Street thing in Vermont, I believe. So that was fun. He had some demons. Um, like I remember one Christmas Eve I was working. Might have been Christmas Day because I always volunteered for the holiday, so I'd get that time and a half, right? But he was drunk as a skunk, and me being the nice person I am, I covered for him. When another supervisor came over, he was like, "Hey, have you seen this guy? I mean, doesn't he seem a little drunk?" I'm like, "I don't know. Not really. He seemed normal." So I saved his job that day, only for him to repay us with suicide, I guess. Rest in peace, man. I miss you. You were cool. So he also at a Denny's bit my other friend. She had like surface piercings on the back of her neck, and he was drunk. Go figure. And he like bit them off, which probably hurt. She said they hurt. Maybe he wasn't a good guy. I don't know. But anyway, I was at the Denny's in Lewiston, Maine. Shout out to that Denny's. A lot of good memories of that one. But that was my days in the call center in Maine, where I worked the 3:30 to midnight shift. So I'd still have an hour to head up the bar before I went home and played World of Warcraft until the sun came up. Because I didn't have to be at work until 3:30, so I could basically fall asleep when the sun went down, wake up, or when the sun came up, and then wake up at around 1 o'clock, do all my stuff, and then go to work. So those are good times. So this is me without a script. This is me without stuff written down to talk about. This is me just letting my rattled ADHD brain go, right? But we still managed to stay mostly on topic. So I think that's a good thing. This might be one of the longest episodes yet, though, because it's literally just me rambling. But to bring it all back, running a customer service team is both the most rewarding and challenging thing you could do. One of. You can teach people a lot of valuable skills. You can teach people a lot of resilience. And as long as you're tolerating good behavior, I'm not talking about like, people swearing in the break room or anything, which probably is bad because of, HR and shit like that. But if you're not, here's the thing, you should not tolerate bad behavior on the call floor. And I'm going to expand call floor to mean Slack channels or Discord channels as well, or on Zoom calls, right? Don't let your employees talk bad to customers. Don't let your employees talk bad about other employees. It's weakness and it can't be tolerated. Yes, some customers are bad people. Yes, some customers are assholes. Yes, some coworkers are assholes. But when you're getting paid, you can't call them out on that shit. And I am obviously with the belief that you can and you should fire customers who harass, who berate, and who put down your employees. And I am also of the mind that you should do the same thing with your employees that act just like those customers. Also, you should not tolerate bad performance. You either need to coach those people up to acceptable levels or get them out of the team. Because, to tie it back to the Hallmark thing, because I'm going to do a Hallmark thing here, is your good performers, once they see that you tolerate bad performance, their performance is going to slip. And that's not good. Because why should they try? Why should they go the extra mile if you're not doing anything about the person who's obviously not performing and not performing on purpose, right? They have that TikTok thing of act your wage, which in theory I am all for, right? Like I said, I think that people on the front line in customer service are criminally underpaid. But when you're at work, you have to adopt certain behaviors. A lot of it is like role playing or acting. I say role playing because Dungeons and Dragons, right? You at work are not John or Jane Smith. You at work are the role of the good, productive, efficient employee. And that's me being real, okay? So it is what it is. I'm gonna cut it there. I kind of ran out of things to say. Welcome back, and I'll see you next time on CX Riot Radio.